can start.
Very good evening to all our participants and YouTube viewer. Our today's alumni speaker is Srushti Zope from PGP batch 2018-19. She is currently working as Assistant Manager, Decision Scientist, Customer Analytics at Jio Platforms Ltd. She is bold, dynamic, business oriented, data storyteller having excellent analytical and leadership skills. She is curious to learn, understand new things, and know how they work. She believed that each one of us have to set the trend of doing something new or different. She studied Bachelor of Commerce and wanted to do something in the field of mathematics. Meanwhile, she pursued her dream of becoming actuary and attempted hands-on three papers basically on statistics. As the saying states, risk taking can prepare for future career advancement. Srishti finally directed herself to go for data science to make a difference in that field. Currently, she is working on complete end-to-end analytics as well as marketing for GeoMart. The recommended system visible now on GeoMart app as well as website is done by Srishti and her team. Over to you, Srishti.
Thank you, Smita, for this introduction. And thank you, everyone, for coming this Sunday evening for this session. I'll just share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay. To begin with myself first, I'm Srishti. Like Smita already told, I have done my bachelor's in commerce from Mumbai University. While pursuing that, I had a plan of doing actuaries, which I did try, but unfortunately couldn't crack all the papers. So then I completed my graduation first, following which, because of having a background of actuaries, I was aware of statistics and the importance of what is going to play in the years to come. So that somewhere led me to data science, and likewise I came to know about Aegis. I still remember the day I went for interview for Aegis. I was like, according to Bhupesh sir, I was the youngest to come for the interview for that batch. And they were quite skeptical because being from a completely different background and getting into this field of analytics, which is not so very adaptive for people who have not come from a coding or IT background particularly. But I decided to pursue it. Even they believed in me, and I got an opportunity to carry forward. And in Aegis, basically, I had a very good experience. Uh, it was like I had a background of statistics, but I didn't know much of it. So I remember the faculty very well. They were all so curious and interested in teaching all those little hacks which we miss out. So because of which all these loopholes were completely filled. And you'll ask me why data science basically, then that is because let's talk about India. India is the largest source of generating data, you can say. Given the population, the mobile user consumption, we are the greatest source of data generation today. So like we say, the insurance industry is not yet explored in India. Likewise for data science. It is still at a very nascent stage and the market is very niche today. So understanding that and entering into a market which is new. So I just thought of getting into data science. So just giving you a background of data science after doing commerce. So basically coding and the technical part is a bit tough, but of course with practice, that is something which you can definitely achieve from practice. And talking about statistics and mathematics, coming from a commerce background, you don't have those two subjects as your major during your graduation. So after that, you need to work a little hard on that. But also there is a benefit if you're from a commerce background. Working 2 years now in Reliance, I have personally felt what happens is there are two types of people basically in an organization. One who are completely technical in the field, who are very well aware of what the coding or the core uh, backend works, and one is the functional team. They completely work on the marketing part of it. So if you are from a commerce background, plus you have some sense of analytics, that is the technical part, you can form a bridge between functional and the technical team. You have a hold of majorly both the sections, and there you have, then you can create some value there. That is where your impact actually comes into the picture. So that is just a brief of like there is a stereotype somewhere that people from commerce background are not usually very affluent in the technical side of the world, but it's not so. If you wish to, you can. Uh, Talking about my work profile, I'm currently working with Reliance, and my profile is somewhere close to a business analyst or a project manager kind of a role, where I equally work with the marketing team and also involved with the technical core big data statistics team. And we form a combination where we form a problem statement first, and those problem statements we deliver to the functional team, saying that these are the cases which you need to increase the revenue for it, and then likewise tracking it back in to the technical team of how we can achieve this. And so while this journey, so basically I have a not a very huge PPT, it's a small one. I'll be just telling you a brief idea that how we can have a conversation with data, or how data is like I've said, you can create a story, you can actually deliver something just by using or just by having a conversation with data. So I think I'm not very fast, and I'm audible.
Yes, yes.
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, so let's just move ahead. A date with data. So basically, when we talk about storytelling, story for any, it's always said hearing to a story is quite easy, but when you have to tell a story to someone, it is a tricky job. You need to make sure that the you form a pattern and you are consistent in the pitch and the way you say it. So I personally think having or exploring the data is like going on a date. So like these are the four steps which I personally feel we need to see with data. First is understanding the data. Understanding in the sense not necessarily okay, kitne rows hai, kitne volume, like what is the volume, what is the capacity, not something like that. Uh, a bit into more detail, taking an example of a consumer business. So what are the demographics I have, or what are the demographics which I can generate from the data? In when we are learning, most of the data which we find is a cooked data, a prepared data. But when we enter into the market, it is more of like in more of a structured and unstructured form. You have to combine it somewhere to just pull out what you need, and pulling that to understand what you need. So what happens is you have 10 columns, you're seeing at it, those 10 columns can give you another 10 column set of attributes. The vision or the what do you say, the vision to see that is something which you have to develop, and that is understanding the data. To give an example of say for example, you are going and shopping in a store, in a retail store, you have shopped for some groceries there, and there you never asked your date of birth, or you never asked your gender or anything, and there are most of the cases where you the whole family shares a single mobile number. So in such cases, if I want to identify a particular gender of a person, how can I do it? From the data which I have a person's transactional data, but I want to know their gender. I want to derive a way in which I can find out with a certain probability that this might be the gender of this person, or with that, what might be the family size. That we can be like that can be done by, say for example, you have products, different products, what is the size of the product they are buying? Are they buying 5 kg rice? Are they buying 1 kg rice? Do they come every month and buy 1 kg rice, or do they come every month and buy 5 kg rice? Each statement, each combination states a different thing. So this is one of the example where that level, that is the depth which is required for understanding the data. We can say for any project which we do, we spend more than 50 to 60% of time understanding the data. What we have, what is the scope of this particular set. Also, when we say talking about understanding the data, it also comes into picture that what is the volume of data you're going to use. The more the merrier is not always true here. From a personal example, I basically feel if you don't have the right quality of data, even if you use a huge set or you can put a different system, won't be of any use. So basically here the quantity, there should be an interaction between quality as well as quantity. And so one benefit you have here is when you have huge quality of data, a smaller size of data works. And while you have quantity, you can always leave on those missing or incomplete rows, and then you can only pick the niche or the crude data which you have. Moving ahead to ideate with data. So continuing with our example. So now if I am able to find out that Srushti is a family of 4 members, and they are more prone to eating wheat and they don't eat rice more. So they are very, what do you say, not, this is not a family somewhere which is more inclined towards rice than wheat. So this is one insight I've already got from the basic understanding of data. So how I can further move ahead? Ideate here to just a very basic example. It can be key. If I'm planning, if the company or if say for example DMart is planning to set an offer for if anybody who buys a 10 kg rice pack today, they'll get a 50% off. So when I know Srushti is not a person who is more inclined towards rice, I shouldn't be sending her any intimation or any promotion regarding the same. This helps me in 2 ways. First is when I'm spending any cost on a particular individual, it is expected that I receive something in return. The ROI should be justified. So in this case, when I know that Srushti is not the right person to target, I'm saving on that. And second thing is that if not Srushti, then you have some more potential and likely customer who will definitely come and buy. So you're hitting the right spot, and even the customer feels personalized. So imagine if I get a message saying, okay, come and buy rice, but I know it won't be a very appealing moment for me to see that message that, okay, this is not what I'm, everybody is aware that they are giving some data out. So when you know that this is not what I am, and this is not what I have shared with the, shared from my behavior, still I am receiving this, that is upsetting. We have, while working on such projects, basically in from the marketing side, this has come to our attention that we are targeting a huge base, but that is not required. You need to ideate it very well and very precisely that how you are going to move ahead with the insight which you have pulled from understanding the data. Another example can be, so since now continuing with the example, you have my behavioral stats. So basis which if I decide to go and shop online for your company's website, you can then help me with a personalized recommendation or similar to something similar to that, or you can create a personalized list also for me, where you know the Srushti is going to come and buy this. So the process is eased for me, as well as you feel connected. I now feel, okay, this, they understand me, they know I need this, and they're directly directing me over there. That is a brief about ideating with data. Then implementation. Once you have all these things in mind, so we can do this. I have 4 different possibilities. I can do these 4 things, which is most doable and which is something which is going to have a higher impact. Taking this all into picture, we can then look into implementing this particular strategy. So it happens that you feel like, for this example, personalization is a very good something to give to the customer. But if you look at the cost, the time cost behind building a personalization and is huge. So basically, if you're looking for something quick or you want a quick push for a revenue for this particular month's target or something, this personalization is not a good idea to go with. You, in spite you have the capability, but you, that is not something which you will be targeting now. So in that case, you might go on a more personalized campaigning technique and not more of a automation perspective. So implementation of data will rely on various factors, your quality of data and every other thing which we discussed before, definitely, but also the urgency and the capability which you have at this point in time. The last implementation with data तक तो सभी पहुंच जाता है. We see most of the companies already reaching with how to implement right with the data. The problem comes is you don't learn with the data. What happens is, okay, so if I have a personalized recommendation of a wheat offer on an online website, and I have seen that product, I've read the description, and I've still decided not to buy. That is a learning. Why I didn't buy? In spite, this is something which I actually want. What is the reason? What is it? Because so there can be two possible reasons. One is I have changed my mind, which is subjective, and the other side is basically I have you have not given me something which I've been looking for at this point in time. So learning with and then reiterating it is the step which usually people miss on. And the bigger the organization you go, this happens that you implement a thing and that is quite smooth for a longer period of time, given the base is huge and the examples for the machine to learn is tremendous. So basically it just gets managed. But this, when the learning is not there, the system gets monotonous. So no matter how huge the data is, even the quality of data will fail if you are not relearning the algorithm with what new your data is giving you. So we basically have started that whenever we do something, especially in getting this combination of marketing and analytics together, we have started actually looking at what we learned from this at each customer level. After doing every single campaign or say every single offer which we give today or every single algorithm we implement, what is the learning we have for each customer? What was our understanding for XYZ customer before implementing it, and what is the result or outcome after implementing it? The implementation part you're already taught, you are doing it well, that you'll definitely do. But what will set you out from others is how you can create how you can manage the after and before with the automation part which you have, or with the technical specialty which you have. Going ahead with, so these are few of the projects which I have worked on, and few are in progress and few are successfully already delivered. So I have, as Smita has already told, I have been working for JioMart. I've been handling analytics end to end with the marketing thing. So looking into that, we have built a recommendation system where we have complementary as well as similar products. If you have visited the app or the website, you'll see now you have even in Mumbai, you have Mumbai for groceries as well as digital segment. Going forward, you'll have, if you're from South or you're from Bangalore, you'll have trends, fashion and lifestyle sold on JioMart. So JioMart is not only somewhere left only for groceries, it is more of a platform where you'll have all the different products provided by Reliance. So we are building a recommendation system across verticals, not only groceries, for trends, for digital, and even cross-functional. So for if you're looking for a grocery product, you're likely to buy this. So if you're looking for rice, you're likely to buy say salt or sugar or dal, chawal, dal or something that sort of. And when you're looking for similar products, it can be more of like if you're looking for loose rice, you might shift to branded if there is a slight price difference. The difference is not huge, but if you look from a business perspective, it does make an impact. So again, how to run a complementary this recommendation engine of a similar product that you guys are already aware of. But one thing which we have realized is you have a result. Okay, so for each product, I have 25 specific recommendations already built. But at what order should I show it to the to a consumer? At what order should I show it? Should it be the way it comes? जैसे ही मॉडल ने दिया, 25 in the random order, I'm publishing it in the random order. Is it the right way, or should I look at it like, say, uh, which product is more beneficial to the company? If I have, if this particular XYZ product is more beneficial, I'm having a more margin in that product, I'm going to show that before, so that the consumer is more likely to buy in the first 5 or 6 products itself. Or the third option is I'll show something which the customer requires, so that he is engaged in the website. He stays with me for a longer time. There is always a, a correlation between margin and this, what the consumer exactly wants. So in spite, we have built all this, but how you show and at what time you show, at what time you're actually showing it to the customer, it does matter. If you're showing a recommendation at 12 o'clock at night and something which you're showing in the afternoon, 3 or 2 o'clock, will differ. That is going to where that is where the impact is actually coming. Say for example, you are at night, you're just sitting with your family and you're surfing and you're just booking your groceries. At that time, you have a particular set of list ready. Your mind is completely focused on that, and you're very likely to buy only those products which you actually need. In spite me giving you any different recommendations, there are very less chances that the customer will actually shift to something which he doesn't actually want to buy. But in the same scenario, if I give him some irrelevant or some bias towards the company kind of recommendations in the at the time where he is actually occupied with other things as well, so he is very likely to buy that particular. He's very likely to buy things which he doesn't actually need. So this is where your business comes into the picture. Your technological friends, so technology is going to give you a set of recommendations, even if it can be also done on basis, you say, based on the customers who have shopped at 2 o'clock and based on customers who have shopped at 12 o'clock. So we can do at that level. But this is somewhere the business understanding comes into the picture, that at what time, how a particular consumer is likely to react. Similar for the similar products as well. For similar products, if we talk about fashion, fashion is a good example for similar products. So if I'm looking for a kurta in a price range of 400 rupees, showing me a similar product, a similar kurta in the same color for 4,000 rupees or a 2,000 rupees kurta is irrelevant for me. When I'm looking for something in this price range, it somewhere shows my budget or my spending capacity to you. So when you know my spending capacity is not going to go beyond the range which I'm currently seeing, you can keep a 20 to 30% margin, of course, but that restriction is not something which your model or your algorithm is going to give you. It is going to give you a generalized set of things. And basically for similar products, we use NLP and other techniques. Based on the description of the product, we actually try to find the similarity between them and move ahead with it. So these things your algorithm is not going to tell you. This is something which you need to think as per the business model which you're in. So do this price bucket is really going to, this setting a price barrier is going to really impact your business or not? In fashion, I would say yes. But if you look for groceries, maybe if you're now looking for a dalda and now I'm showing you a refined buffalo ghee or a cow ghee from Amul or say a very branded company, the price range is going to change. But here the picture is more of hygiene or say health benefit, so people are likely to buy of a higher range given it is affecting their health directly. So for each, for the same thing, we have two different cases. For fashion, there is a different approach. For grocery, it will be a different approach. Similarly, if you move ahead with digital, the approach will further change. So for digital, if we say if somebody is looking for an iPhone, and in the similar products, if I'm only showing him iPhone, that would be incomplete. So for digital, if you say, it will be more of like he's looking for a phone, I'm going to show products which are similar to mobile phone. So it can be an Android phone, it can be a Windows phone, it can be an iPhone. Reason being, I'll tell you the reason also for why we need to keep it more of a open or a generalized thing. That is because if, especially in terms of electronics, everybody does their homework before coming to the website and shopping. It never happens कि कोई website पे आकर search करे. And you never go on Amazon and check the specifications and compare. You'll first do it on Google. You'll do it on some other sites, say for example GSM Arena and other things, and then you'll, while buying and for the final price, you'll come and compare on the websites. So this is what is happening. So if you're looking for iPhone, you have definitely looked at other iPhones already. If you're looking for iPhone 12, you already know what is the cost of iPhone 11 and what is it likely to offer. So if I might, so talking about iPhone 12, so if it is around a range of 80,000, so now I can offer you something from Samsung Note series, which is of that range or something higher. So now I know that this particular person is a premium buyer and he is already searching for iPhone, so he has his homework done for iPhone. So now I can either show him something relevant to it, nearby to it, or with iPhones, something relevant to it. It won't be like you're not going to show iPhones at all, but something more varied or a variety of similar products. Uh, so for each, again, even for complementary, this is likely to change. According to your business model, this every the algorithm is going algorithm still remains the same. The data which you put in will be also quite similar considering the retail model at this point, but your segment or your vertical is going to completely change the picture, how you're going to interpret it. You can run the same algorithm for all the three formats: groceries, fashion and lifestyle, and digital. Still, you might have to personally dig dive and decide few certain rules to actually implement it, which will be very different from each other. That is for sure. Second project which we've been working on is hourly prediction. The leadership always wanted a visibility, and everybody actually would like to know that to manage their stock and inventory supply and replenishment, that what by end of the day I'm likely to have XYZ orders, and by 6 o'clock I'm likely to reach 50,000 orders. My current stock is this much. If I get 50,000 orders and I want to deliver it by tomorrow, there is a gap which I need to fill, and I can start filling that gap by today 10 o'clock in the morning itself. 6 बजे के ऑर्डर में क्या होगा या क्या आ सकता है, उसका जजमेंट लेकर आज अगर मैं स्टॉक भेजूं, I can reduce the TAT of delivery. I don't need 2 or 3 days to deliver the order when I can anticipate what you're likely to order and what is likely to be sold. So for that comes in two ways. One is the prediction for orders is basically to manage the inventory and all. And when you're talking about sales, here comes the picture of when you know कि आज मेरे पास I am having 1,50,000 orders coming today. That is by order prediction I know, but the revenue generated from that is around 1.5 CR, which is too less. For a 1 lakh order thing, 1.5 CR is less for me. So if I want to increase the basket value of a customer, or I want to bring in more customers to the website, 1 lakh se nahi ho raha hai, so I want 2 lakh orders now to increase my revenue, I can likely plan my marketing campaigns then and there. When I have an estimation for the day, I can decide my offers, my promotion timings, and the base then and there, and the decision can be quick and crisp, maybe. So here again, one thing which we usually follow is we learn from this. So like I told, learn with data. For this hourly prediction, we have made sure the trend in the day, it is likely to change ahead. But what we have overall observed is the change is not very huge. So it is more or less enough to give business an idea of what the day is going to be for them. And this is again for grocery, for various across verticals. Third is personalization, or this personalized mileage zone. If you visit the JioMart app, in the front page itself, before it was in the menu section, if you updated the app, you'll have a mileage section in the top right corner. And there, if you click, based on your past history and your behavior, we are trying to give you a list of products which you might buy in this particular visit. So if you go to the My List feature, okay, आज मुझे sugar चाहिए, I want a Clinic Plus shampoo, I want a toothpaste, a toothbrush, and then your phone. I have anticipated this is all what you need. And if it matches your requirement, you can directly add and check out. I'm reducing your time on the website and making it easy for you to actually come and visit my platform and check out. You don't need to keep searching on कि बाबा अभी मुझे I wanted, say for example, Maggie, but I'm not getting Maggie. I have top ramen. So ye dhoondo, ya go into the noodle and pasta section and again look at what which is available, which is going to get delivered at your particular location and something. This My List feature is going to give you the products which you need or something which is more similar to what you actually need. So this for this again we are working on personalization. Currently, it is more on the generalized recommendation system. We are halfway through the personalized model here, where for each customer, based on its location, buying behavior, possibly his age, because given its online data, we have quite of extensive data achieved. So, basis all of this, we are trying to create a more personalized and easy experience for a customer. Because, see, a clear example is when you're talking about grocery, it is something which you're going to buy every 15 days or every month. So, if I'm giving you an experience which is not so friendly and you have to come and visit my website after every 15 days, it is a tedious task. So, like Amazon works on subscription model, this is something where we give you a freedom that not only you need to fix it, ki baba, I want to use Clinic Plus only. So Amazon, what does Amazon do? It is going to ask you to subscribe. So basically, they are anticipating for a 1 liter of shampoo bottle, which is going to last for say 2 months, an average consumption of 2 people in the house. So every second month, they're going to put you a reminder that we are delivering you this bottle. But what if after 2 months you realize you don't want Clinic Plus and you want to try Pantene? So in such cases, I think this personalized mileage zone is going to be of more benefit, where you'll have the product which you need and some substitutes also with it, where you can then and there take. Sometimes it happens that आपने तभी Clinic Plus ले लिया क्योंकि तभी offer में था. There was a huge discount on Clinic Plus. That's why you got a 1 liter bottle in one go. And then after 2 months, the discount is gone. Now you're looking for a cheaper option. So in such cases, this personal understanding this. So again, data can definitely tell you that who is coming for discount and who is actually genuinely interested in the product. So this personalization and ease of the process, a combination of these two somewhere is going to maybe give us an edge over others. The fourth one is customer scorecard. This is something we have just begun with. For each customer who is interacting with us, we need to know how they are, how they behave, what is their. So we have a set KPIs, 7 or 8. Based on those KPIs, where I stand out of A to D, I'm ranking myself somewhere in each of the criteria, which is then used to derive a particular score, and that particular score can be used across the functions. It can be used across because I have a variety of attributes which I'm going to map against each customer. So this particular score can help me in deriving my marketing audience or the targeted audience for a particular set of the offer. It can also help me in anticipating likely increase in demand for a particular product, or maybe somewhere it can also tell you that what is the reason of my customers not coming back to me. Why gone away? It is always said that retention is like more difficult than new acquisition is more easier than retention, but when you know retention is difficult, you need to figure out how I can actually retain it and how should I, what with the existing infrastructure and the data which I have, what is the best I can do to avoid or bring back my gone. So for that, this customer scorecard is going to play a very important role. We are here going to take, here also we are going to learn from data, all the personalization and the recommendations which we are given to customers, we are going to learn from each of it that which product they are clicking on, why didn't they buy, or did they just add to cart and left, or didn't they even add to cart, or did they went to a substitute, did they actually visit the recommended product section. Excuse me, something that sort of. this will, so this is basically, you can say, A to Z of a customer. The customer scorecard is like a report card which we have, which is going to show, or if you go for an interview, you give your mark sheet to the interviewer. So that is the interviewer is going to judge you based on that mark sheet. Similarly, we are going to judge our customer based on the scorecard which is generated for him. These were some of the major projects which we have been working on. There are smaller analysis and smaller projects also which we work in the organization for offline as well as online model. These are more something which I thought might give you a better idea of how the business and analytics work hand in hand. So smaller projects are clustering, what we usually know and which we have been doing, which we do for standard practices for marketing. That is something which we always do, and that is still happening. But with that, add-on is all this, which here we are trying to reach the customer to somewhere to make him feel that he is been heard or he is not invisible to us. Everybody is like, he has a voice. He is saying something to us, and we are understanding that and giving him back. So that's all for the project side. One of the thing which everybody, I think this batch basically of Aegis will be worried about is this pandemic is going to have an impact, maybe on jobs, on the pay scale, maybe, or the availability, or various things. So I just thought I'll just brief you about how we can, or what is the role of analytics before, during, and after. Since I have been a part of before and I'm a part of during, and within the organization, we have some anticipation of what the after will be. So before, like what we have discussed, the projects, these all projects which we have done, all these projects are done during the pandemic time period. These are all projects done after March 2020. So before that, I would say from a personal experience, analytics was more of at a growing stage, the pace was quite slow. Due to this pandemic, the growth, it has the race has increased, the pace has increased. There are many other companies coming into analytics, and those which are already existing companies working on analytics have fast paced their process. They have brought in new technologies, they are ready to integrate, they are ready to grow, and they are ready to move fast. The speed is what which everybody is looking at during this pandemic period. So given this, what is happening now, going forward, once we are back to normal somewhere, currently even now we see the consumer behavior is coming back to normal, majoritarily, not like more than 50% the consumer is coming back to its original footprints, that how he was behaving, and is coming back to that. So after that, we think that given this development which we are doing in analytics in this pandemic, we can actually we can drive the consumer decision making. I actually saw an interview where it was told that do we humans actually have the power of decisions with us anymore? The data and the analytics, somewhere what we guys are doing itself, we guys are affecting the decision making capacity of the individual in a good and bad both way. It's not, there is nothing which is completely bad or something which is completely good, but we do have a greater impact on the decision making capacity of an individual, which can lie in a simplest decision of buying a shampoo, or it can be as big as politics. That is a most famous case which is everybody's aware of. So I personally feel the demand for analytics is going to increase at a very it can be exponential growth after this pandemic, that people are going to get into analytics for a smallest bit of it. So given this, pandemic has turned to be a boon for data scientists. In my organization, I have personally felt the leadership is very much interested into analytics. Now they feel the traditional marketing techniques are not going to work. Even if the consumer decides to get back to his original footprints, he might have some change in mind. So, for example, we had a lockdown for 2 or 3 months. You didn't order anything, say from McDonald's or Domino's. You are very likely to think twice before buying it again. Not once. So the frequency is the frequency is going to definitely reduce. If you were supposed to eat pizza twice a month before the pandemic, now you might buy it once a month or once and twice, once in 2 months. So this change in behavior, the customer is going to buy definitely, but the frequency and the monetary value of what he is buying is likely to change. And change in the sense not completely, it's likely to be fluctuating. Given the market is somewhere not stable, the behavior will likely to fluctuate. So it is a cumulative decision or a thought that we data scientists can give a better picture than the pure marketeers that what it is likely to be in the next 1 month, next 2 months, or next 6 months. So, and given the market trend, if you look at the sessions on CNBC or anywhere in the news, if you see the impact of analytics is huge. Most of the companies are moving into analytics. So personally, I feel COVID is benefiting us. The importance of data scientists are increasing, and we might have an edge over others after this pandemic is all done. And it truly comes into everybody really comes to know that what is the power of data. This is the right time where we are able to show them that what can data do, removing all the traditional biases and some new perspective of whatever comes into the way. This is a completely new thing. Nobody knows that how is a customer likely to react to a pandemic, like how a customer is likely to react after pandemic and within the pandemic. So even if it happens that our offices start, or we most of the things are quite open now, we are not sure how the consumer is going to behave. Is he going to stay the same? Is he going to buy the same product or only when in discount, or is he going to buy with a smaller value in the first 6 months and then is going to shift back to his original one? The combinations are huge. It can be anything. But this is something which we data scientists can give them in a short way, in a more higher probability, saying that this is very likely to happen, and something with more confidence than our traditional bias assumptions of a typical individual. I think this is something I just thought I would share with you guys. Any questions? Let's keep it open for questions, Smita.
Amazing. It was such a informative session, Srishti. So yeah, let's take in the questions from the chat. So we have a question. Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yes,
So we
Smita.
have a question by Rajesh Dure. So he's asking,
Okay.
how is a typically day of a storyteller, or how are you facing your day? Like, what is a day like? What are the challenges you are typically facing in your work?
Okay. Hi Rajesh. So a typical day, it would be like I would describe. Every morning we have a brainstorming session where we first discuss what are the existing projects which we are working on, and while working on these projects, do we find something interesting which we can start simultaneously with this. That is one thing. Followed by which we have our standard protocol of working with the technical, having a follow up with the technical team of what's going on, having a discussion with the functional team of what additions they need or what are the tweaking which is required. And for with this being one side, we also have few short analysis which we continuously do. Like for every month we have, for every week we have an analysis of what is the trend of new acquisition versus the repeat buying purchase, for example. So these analysis which we have on a daily basis. There are dashboards and reports automated for it already. There are a few things which still, so numbers is not something which the business requires from you. These numbers, to turn these numbers into something insightful or something directly ready available data to the simple layman, that is something which we do on a daily basis as well with these projects. I think this might help you with like
Yeah.
what you want to know.
Means we are putting. I think. Can you hear me? I'm audible.
Yeah, I can hear you. But the voice is little feeble. Can you be a bit louder?
Yeah, there is a technical problem in my laptop. Means we are analyzing the
Okay.
data and that we are interpreting in a logical statement, correct? That can be forwarded to the higher management.
Yes.
Okay, okay, sir. Thanks.
Yeah. Any other question, guys?
Yeah, may I ask, people here?
Yes, people.
Yeah, one thing that I want to mention that your transition from your, as you said, that from the commerce background to data analysis, and the challenging part was the your coding and then the statistics. So it's a really amazing thing, this transition phase, and it is also reflected in your learning part. That as you explained through different examples, how you are doing that things and different problems you are solving. So one query from my side is there. Say, usually in our, I'm from economics background. So what is happening in economics? We know when the regression analysis we are doing, we need a stable coefficient for a longer duration. If you want to analyze, you want to predict something, that coefficient needs to be stable. So some kinds of thing that in this scenario that pandemic or crisis has appeared. So it's called a structural break. Your linearity, the earlier relations are not working at this point of stage. Suddenly the variable collapsed. There is no activity in certain sectors of the economy. So my point is that when you are analyzing or doing these analytics in your area, how
Yeah.
your
I can't hear
model
you.
helps. So how you are facing the challenge that are you doing a different kinds of modeling or
I missed you.
doing so? Yeah,
Vipul, I
okay.
missed you.
Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
If you repeat your
Yeah. Yeah.
question,
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Vipul, actually, I couldn't hear you. Could you just repeat?
My point is that, say, in case of your normal economic situation or normal activity when happens, then your economic model, whatever the coefficients are there in your model, that remains stable.
There is a difference.
Can you hear me?
there's still no voice from.
Yeah, it's technical problem.
You can chat, people. You can type the question in the chat box.
Okay.
So we have a question from one more participant. Still, we take the question from Bipul. What are the essential components to be included in a storytelling? Any visuals or any real-time examples? Hello?
So sorry. So sorry. It's a issue from my side.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
worries. Yeah, Bipul.
Am I audible?
Yeah,
You
you're
can see
audible.
me,
You're
right?
audible.
Okay.
Yes, yes, we
Yeah,
can
Vipul,
see
tell
you.
me.
Yeah. So, Bipul, coming back to
Vipul,
Bipul's
otherwise
question,
do
does the
one.
model?
Yes, Mita.
Yeah. So, Bipul's question is, does the model work differently in pandemic type situation? If yes, what is the solution?
Uh, so if you are saying that if you are using the existing data and trying to predict something for a pandemic, it won't be right. You will have to tweak some parameters there. So that being, if you're from economics background, you will definitely understand that how much to tweak is somewhere your this demand supply is going to play a picture. uh, let's say example of this retail thingy when we are predicting, but again this the prediction which we did, currently we did whole on the pandemic period using the before pandemic data. So whenever we have our big sale days, we tweak few parameters, the weights which we give for each say attribute, we tweak those weights. So again, tweaking those weights, we have some basic business understanding and we do some back calculations and basis which we tweak some parameters. So likewise, for any field you go, if there is some bump anywhere, a sudden inflation or a sudden deflation in the market, you'll have to tweak some parameters. You can't use the model directly as in there. But how much to tweak it and that is something which is only going to come from your understanding of how the market is likely to behave. Uh, does that answer your question, Bipul?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Moving on to the next question from Avinash Naya. What are the essential components to be included in a storytelling? Any visuals or any real-time examples?
Okay. Mm, essential steps like I show in the second slide which I showed you. So when you are saying you want to tell a story, you need to understand. Okay, let's take a simple example of we are trying to tell a simple story of any Shakespeare play. We're trying to tell. First thing which you want to know is you need to know what are the characters. So in our case, what is the data? What are the attributes I have? My attributes are my characters. So I have the name, I have mobile number. A mobile number being a mandatory field, I have this field 100% with me. Right or wrong, a genuine number or not is the second thing. So that then the other is the transactional behavior. I know what this product is buying, what this person is buying. Sorry. So that is again my another character. So once I know what all my characters are, now it happens that there are so few characters I myself create. So I know for this play, these 10 characters are not going to be sufficient. I need some background artist. I need some guards for the king, for example, or something that sort of. So these are my created attributes which I create, which are not having any direct impact, but which do add in some help to the model to develop. So okay, these are once my characters are set. Now I need to work on the plot or the storyline. So, I have 20 characters. Each one has this particular role. This is what a particular attribute is going to do. Now I'm trying to frame a case study or I'm trying to set a plot where each attribute is going to play a picture. So I know my mobile number is my key identifier. On that basis, I'm going to mark this customer with a particular recommendation. So he is my main person. Say, for example, he's the king. Then I have his quantity or how much quantity he is buying or what discount he is taking. So his discount might be his quoteman or something that sort of. So these characters, and then you form a plot against it. You form a story against it. Okay, so this particular mobile or king had these quotemen and they decided or they had this thought that they will run the country in this particular way. So in our case, this particular consumer is having a certain buying behavior and is going to stick to it for a certain time period. So if the king wants to give something back to the his countrymen, he is thinking in a way that okay, I might give them some gold coins, they'll be happy. In our case, we think that this particular customer is more likely to buy wheat. So I'm going to offer him a heavy discount on wheat because he has not come back to me since 3 months or 6 months. So to make him happy, I'm going to offer him something which he actually needs. So in our case, the countrymen are the consumers. Talking from a business perspective, if I'm the business, the countrymen are the consumers. The product which I'm giving them, the offer which I'm giving them are the gold coins. The team where we the consumer identity, the back end of the countrymen is the portsmen or the representatives. So portsmen are basically your representatives of the countrymen. So here we have the attributes which are representing the consumer. We can say that. So I think I have not complexed it for you, but just fitting in pieces. This is how you actually form a story around the data.
So, ma'am,
There are no specific.
it's like an arch, forming an arch of storytelling, right, ma'am? Like,
Yeah, you can say that.
okay.
If it happens that you find this approach difficult, there is another way to go ahead. Take a pen and paper. You know your case study. You know I want to do this. Just draw a circle, write that, and what all attributes. Just try making a mind map out of it. You're aware of mind map, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Or a small sketch. You just have to create a flow chart, or you just have to visualize all the components which you have, and then you can just relate it. This will also help you form a story.
So
Write down all
the rating aspect, we can consider it as tweaking or tailoring according to ourselves. I mean,
yes, that is a completely after your algorithm and your whole process and all is done. After implementation of the whole process, you can
okay.
actually work on then iterating your model, or you're iterating the cases, or like we said, we have this output, but इस केस स्टडी के लिए ये आउटपुट को मैं ऐसे यूज करूंगा और इस केस स्टडी के लिए मैं उसको ऐसे यूज करूंगा. दैट इज लेटर, बट यहाँ तक पहुंचने के लिए यू नीड टू फॉलो अ सर्टेन फिक्स्ड पाथ. सी व्हाट हैपेंस इज जितना ज्यादा डेटा उतनी ज्यादा स्टोरीज बनेंगे. देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ various possibilities which can come. So to stick to that, to stick to just one particular idea and carry forward it, you need to chalk it down. So if you find it difficult to create a story, you can always create a mind map, a process flow in which you are going to proceed. And that process flow is not something like जो algorithm में होता है, I'm cleaning my data, I'm filling the missing values. That is not the flow. The flow is data collection, data availability, or then it can be getting new data if you want. That sort of things, that flow. Everything before running the machine learning model. Everything before that.
So, ma'am, some of the insights we cannot put into a story. So, can we chop it off? Like, if it is not.
Yes. So not exactly everything falls into pieces, but you always have some scenes which are completely irrelevant. In movies, if you see, there are unnecessary comedy shots added in between. They do add a humor to the film, right? So something in that sort, you have these small insights which don't have a major role in the story, but which do help you understand that what. So here, these insights might give you an idea that once my model is ready, what are the parameters I need to tweak? What might be the impact of tweaking few parameters on the data?
So I believe Avinash, you got the answer of the question. Okay,
Yes,
Jayashree,
sir, yes, sir.
you have some question out there. So I would really appreciate, Jayashree, if you can turn on your video and ask a question if possible. That would give a lively environment to shift.
Yeah, my video is already turned on, sir.
Okay, yeah, please shoot your question.
Yeah, so good evening, ma'am. And my question is, what is a typical job role or a typical job description of a profile like yours? Like, I believe so that your profile is of a data storyteller. So what exactly is a typical job description of that? And what is the approach towards such a job role? Like, it's not very common job role that we come across every day. So data scientist is more of a job role that we come across a lot, but data storyteller is a profile which we do not come across very often. So how is that like approachable?
Okay. Data storyteller is not exactly a profile. If you're looking for a job as a data storyteller, तो वैसा directly नहीं है. But there are ways you can reach there. So you can look for job description where they're more interested in your business understanding than your technical skills. So I
Okay.
remember my interview, two, three of them, for all some sort of similar roles. It was more of a case study based. You need to pick up cases and you need to study each. It can be a simplest of a simplest thing. For example, how long do you think is the perishability of the oil? If I'm in a retail business, I want to make sure that मेरा transport cost बचे, but मेरे customers को सब चीजें time पर मिले. That is my case study for oil. Let's take a basic example of oil. So you need to have here the understanding that एक इंसान एक महीने में कितना oil consume करेगा with the average family size of 3 or 4. How much is the time required for actually transporting the product from warehouse to the store? So then it can also be that what is the population of the area, all these small things. So here the more business understanding comes into the picture.
Okay.
So if you want to be a data storyteller or something, that sort of, I would say look for profile of business analyst,
Okay.
data analyst, business analyst is a more preferred one. You can look for that. And
Okay.
the typical job profiles are not with something you will have as someone with R, Python or big data knowledge. They do require, definitely you do require, because if you're working with a statistical team, you are the one who are going to question them कि नहीं आप ऐसा मत ही ऐसा करो, ये business को ऐसा चाहिए और ये आप Python में कर सकते हो. You need to have both. But
Yeah.
if you're looking for something कि मुझे code करना है या I want to build an algorithm from scratch, then this role is not that. You're not going to build anything from scratch here. You're not going to code basically.
Yeah. So, ma'am, when you joined, please don't mind me asking, when you joined, which profile did you apply for? Like in the.
Same profile. I'm in the same profile from start.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
I said this right from the start that I didn't have this advantage of what engineers had of coding. So I decided then and there that it doesn't make sense running in the race where I have 10 people ahead of me. It's always better to go into a way where it is unexplored and I can rule there, practically speaking.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was great. The presentation and all.
Thank you.
Gaurav, I believe you are available there. You can please ask your question. Why not to directly ask? Rather we.
Yeah, I'm here. So hi Srushti. So you and me are the same. Means even I'm from a commerce background. Okay, but the thing is, I think like my work experience is quite big here. But still, I just want to ask. So like you are one kind of an exception. Okay, so who got a data science role and something like that in a company called Jio. So how is it to get a job, to get a job for this kind of the person who are not into this science domain, okay, science or a coding domain, okay, and they have a commerce background and still get a job in data science. So how is it? Means see, the thing is, I believe that Jio is a very big company. So you are not the only person who is from a from the commerce background. So this is my question. I hope you know what I mean. Okay. So could you help us with this?
Yeah. Just an exception. In my department, I'm the only one with commerce.
So that is why I told you that you are an exception. Okay. So
but okay, there are two things. If a company is coming to recruit you, in my case at least, since I was a fresher, I was a clean slate. So for a company to write anything, it was they were the first to write on it. If you're coming with a good enough experience, the picture will slightly change for you. But companies, when they come, in Aegis, if they're coming to interview you, they're going to only come and check your this present education which you have taken. Your experience matters for sure, but if you are like, how should I put it to you? Okay, companies are more interested in what you have to give it now today. Now what you have. आप पहले 10 साल खुद का business चला लो, and now if you are not able to tell them how you are going to help their business grow, your 10 years of business experience is of no use. So I have personally felt your past qualification in the bigger the organization, your past qualifications won't matter much if you're confident enough and if you crack your interview well. By interview, I mean you need to have a vision. You need to keep the interview panel engaged. For Reliance, there is always a panel interview which happens. So the questions come from all angles, from all sides. So you have to keep them engaged in what you're telling them. And I think your current this Aegis is good enough to actually help you get you a good role. And if you're experienced, I think you can actually get into this kind of role also.
Thanks, Srushti.
So there is another question, Srushti, which is coming from the other channel. So this is from this gentleman name is Adarsh Iyer. So he's very inquisitive to ask a lot of questions. So I will try to sum up all the questions what he has asked. So he's asking, can you please talk how Aegis has helped you in this journey? Journey means the profile in which you are currently, and what all needs are mandatory for us to keep us inclined in this career path. This is his first question.
Okay. Ages. So talking about ages, see, being only a commerce graduate, getting into a profile, something like this is not possible. So I think that itself gives you an idea that what the name of ages has an impact somewhere. It is of course you, but you need a backup. You of course need a backup. Nahi to fir aap, see, if you're learning data science, you can learn it from anywhere. You can learn it from Coursera, LinkedIn Learning. There are free sources also. But you need a good name to get somewhere. You need to have that confidence. IIM के MBA को क्यों इतना salary का job लगता है? There is a name there. So talking about Aegis, Aegis is having a good reputation. The faculty is amazing. They all are PhDs. They are from IIT, and they give you a vision. They give you a thought. And talking about my profile, I was personally, I had a word with one of our faculty, Vinay sir. He himself personally even suggested, we had a discussion that given my characteristics and the way which I was moving in, he personally suggested me to get into business analytics or the data storyteller part more than into the core technical. You need to understand what you are good at, what you will be able to do, or what you're going to enjoy doing it. If you enjoy actually working on a computer, doing something right from scratch, so that is something which you want, then the criteria changes. But I would say Aegis will prepare you for both. I have my colleagues, I have my batchmates from Aegis who are working in different roles, one in pure technical or somewhere in a cross-functional. I have my one of my batchmates having her own startup. So Aegis is actually going to prepare you for everything. You need to decide in which one you want to go. And from coming from commerce background and then into Aegis was like they teach you everything from scratch. It's like even if you have no background of how statistics works, they're going to tell you everything. You don't need to worry about it. Even if you're new to coding, aaj tak kabhi Java, C++, kuch dekha hi nahi hai, you don't know anything, still they'll be able to help you. They'll start from basics and they'll take you to a level where you're able to actually perform data science level, machine learning, coding, or the required coding knowledge for data science.
Another question he's adding on here, that is, I'm taking an down to up approach to what he's asking the question. So another question is, can you please let us know how analytics can help shape the digital payment gateways, keeping in mind the cyber attacks?
Okay. I remember in my batch, I had one of my batchmate who was very keen in cybersecurity. He developed a good enough model to actually detect a breach before it actually hits. So there are, taking a simple example, if somebody is trying to hack a website or somebody is going to hack an account, there are multiple hits on this particular website with a same IP or a same server. So using that pattern and cybersecurity, actually, he'll be a good person to give you an idea of. I'm not very much aware of cybersecurity, but analytics will give you the capability to identify an attack before it happens with a good enough probability. So that the analytics will empower you with that definitely. So precaution can be taken from maybe from such cyber attacks maybe.
Yeah.
Um, hello, sir.
Yes, please go ahead, Shradul.
Yeah,
Please ask a question.
yeah. Ma'am, I would like to ask you a question which falls under the line of interviews. So, like, what kind of like a brief experience you had with Reliance when you were in the interview? I would like to know a pattern of questions that get thrown at you, so no, we can be prepared if we attend interviews of Reliance or companies with same kind.
Okay. Okay, it's not only about the company, it also the role they're looking for. I have seen big companies coming to you, they have a different set of approach where they have the technical round clearing, you have first 2 3 rounds, and then you have your interview, face-to-face interview. For Reliance also we had an entrance. One was a basic aptitude test followed by a technical Q&A, and post which there was a selection, and then we had a face-to-face interview. The interviews for my kind of role are based on case studies completely. It is you should be able to answer a case study in any domain. It can be finance, it can be healthcare, it can be retail, irrespective of what the company is. They are trying to figure out how much is your thinking of how beyond can you think if a particular problem is put in front of you, and then how many possible options you come up with for a role of my kind. And if you're looking for something as a core data science or a machine learning engineer kind of a role, then you need to be very crisp on if I have this particular type of data with this much volume and the quality of data is 60% sufficient, a good quality of data, which approach is more suitable? Which algorithm is suitable? Why? And how you are going to implement it? Or do we like in that case here also there are case studies, but case studies will be in the picture that so if I have 60% of quality data, do I need to use oversampling, or will this data be sufficient? An example I remember for another interview which I had given, that was a technical one. So there I had a case study. Okay, I'll take a similar to one. Let's take a banking example. I have an account in a certain X bank. Account balance is continuously dropping past 6 months. You are given a case study of predicting the 7th month balance. So you don't have to actually sit and code there, but you need to tell them कि 7th month का predict करने के लिए क्या variables चाहिए होंगे, which requires you to understand what banking data is. Banking data होगा कैसे? They are not going to tell you कि these are my columns, these are your attributes, and now tell me how you're going to do it. You need to anticipate. Being a bank, आपके पास आधार number होगा, you will know the gender, you will know whether he's employed or not, whether he is a retired person or whatever it is. So you need to know कि बैंक में ये data होता है. अभी ये data मेरे पास है. I know this. So इसमें से what I can, what all other attributes I'm deriving, and then I'm reaching this. So which model you're using is just one part of it. How you're reaching there is a whole lot different story which they like to discuss on for a technical role.
Okay, so basically the difference between your role and technical role is that you look at a project as a whole and not just a part of it being a part of a coder's arena.
Exactly, right.
Okay, so you're more of yeah, it's like you like manage the people who code and give them the instructions they have to follow, and according to them that you get the desired outputs.
should also be in line with the functional or the business. Like, it is
Yeah.
also convincing कि बाबा ये output बराबर है आपके business के लिए. It is
Okay.
both ways. It's a
Kind of a
basically.
managerial role, more of a managerial role than a
Right.
coders or a data scientist role.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay. That is actually more fun. Like,
It is more promising somewhere. Given my personal this thing, and I don't know if you're aware, the technology is so changing that there are chances that you will have a all set system where you put in your data, you select an algorithm, and you have your predictions ready. It is not
yeah.
quite a far-fetched project. This is likely to come in near future. So,
Okay.
so we basically need to understand that also.
Yeah. So basically, me like listening to you since like past an hour, I was been already thinking that okay, this is a kind of a role that I would be more suited in. Okay, I can code, I can do stuff, but this is something I would be more passionate about doing it because sitting for 12 hours a day, just coding could fry our brains out.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. But people do love that. It's not something bad. I'm saying that is also equivalently good. But that is something which I didn't find comfortable to.
Yeah, that's why I connected it to on that level. That okay, I cannot do that, but maybe yes, yeah. This is a kind of a role I was looking for when I joined Aegis.
Yeah, Aegis can definitely help you with that. There are organizations coming with such kind of role also.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Any other question, guys? So till then, we'll take a question from the YouTube channel. So we have a participant asking a question. So Shushti, it may vary. So his question is, what is the hike in the salary for a fresher or a, one comes with a relevant experience? So I'm sure it depends, profile to profile, and it depends company to company. But if you could answer, what is
More
the
or less,
expected salary hike?
company and role से भी ज़्यादा how much you are capable of. If you are
Okay.
capable of, company is ready to pay you the amount you're asking for. You need to prove yourself in those 20-30 minutes of interview you have. If you know
Oh,
you're good enough and you can prove yourself, nothing like it.
true. Very true. Yes. So any other question, guys? So I'm sure you may be having still more questions. Okay, so you can connect with the Srishti anytime over LinkedIn. We already shared the LinkedIn profile. I hope Srishti won't mind. Okay,
Yeah,
so
definitely.
yeah, so she's there to help you and guide you if you have any queries. Okay, so thank you so much, Srishti. That was wonderful sessions. All the examples, simple example, explained so beautifully, and it was an amazing session. Thank you so much. Thank you for spending your evening with us. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah. Thank you, Smita. Thank you, Ritan.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.